I just wanted to be able to do more conversation. Language strategy, it felt more fun. I can be able to ask questions and ask about this. I appreciate all your help. マイクです。マイクと呼んでください。よろしくお願いします。フロリダ出身です。IT コンピューター、エンジニアです。2004年に日本へ来ました。I actually want to do the second course. So I'm really I really want to start it up again. I don't want to stop it. I feel a whole lot more confident going out and doing things. If I don't know the whole complete sentence, I could be able to at least piece some things together.
I'm so happy to hear, really, when I met you on the consultation, and also really in the beginning, there's impossible to even talk to the camera, it was zero, right? When I met you, do you remember? Like,
I think it was kind of
breaking
bad.
out in the
Talking to you about why I wanted to do Japanese, why I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
It does feel a little bit different now.
So what do you think, like before you start this master course, what you have done like before master course, and you try to learn so many things with textbook or something? Can you share with me like what you have done before?
So a couple years back, I actually did a college class on Japanese language, and I did about, I want to say, maybe two college classes, and I already had a little understanding of Japanese, but not really enough to kind of put sentences together or being able to have a real conversation. When I went through that, it was a little difficult, and it's just grammar and speaking are kind of completely different. And I just wanted to be able to do more conversation, and it was just hard to do that with that class.
And so how long are you taking this college course?
I want to say there were about 2.5 months, 2.5 months for one class. And I spent 2.5 months trying my best to just grasp the grammar part of it, and particles, and being able to put sentences together. And I just never could be able to do that. I could never use that in a real world situation. I tried to use a couple sentences that I had for introductory to be able to, tell people what my occupation was, and what my name was, and certain things don't really match up the way Japanese conversation and grammar, they coincide. So being able to read it doesn't mean that you can actually speak it well. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think this class was good for me. I really, really enjoyed it because it was not only fun, but it was, I felt like I was being able to learn more out of it. So,
have you ever done any other thing?
I actually did Rosetta Stone one time before too. And I mean, I learned words, but you need to learn how to use the words in order for that to actually work. So, I can tell different words or different things around the house, how to say them in Japanese, but I just never knew how to put the sentence together to actually use those words. So it was just hard for me to be able to, pick up on the language.
When you're studying, what was like a main difficulty for you that time? Like when you try Rosetta Stone, college go, this is really hard. Like what was the core difficulty for you?
I guess the amount of words that I had to learn all at one time to try to put something together. And the different past, present, and future ways of actually putting these words, the words or sentences together, that was very, very difficult. So I learned, 2 or 3 different ways to say one word, but I wasn't sure how to actually put those together.
How long actually have you been feel this in that situation?
Pretty much the majority of the time being here. I learned a few things here and there throughout the years being here, and I just never felt like I could actually be able to put sentences together. So it's probably been all the way up until this time now that just had a difficult time trying to be able to put any kind of sentences together for people to understand. I don't want to always keep talking like a 3-year-old, in Japanese. I do want to try to pick up and learn and understand. Of course, I'm going to be like that in the beginning, but I felt like I got a good foundation to be able to kind of start on now to actually push to understand how to say things.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
learn. I try my best to learn particles. Like they have a book on particles, and that is still so difficult for me to go through now. But I still have I have a general understanding now. Now that I go through some of the phrases, have some human interaction with it. Somebody to be able to tell me that's not the right way to say that. You know, you can actually you can put a sentence together, but that doesn't mean that's the proper way to say it in Japanese. You would have to have somebody native to be able to kind of put these sentences together to help you understand how it's structured as far as conversation.
You're working in the English environment. At the work, you don't feel so much frustration, but outside of work, maybe you felt. So what was actually the difficulty in the life when you couldn't communicate?
I think the most difficult part was going down to my local convenience down the street and not being able to ask for a bag. Just a bag to be able to put my groceries in. I felt bad, and I really, really wanted to learn and understand how to be able to say, yes, I want the bag, and, be able to just kind of interact and be here and understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, I just wanted to have a better relationship with Japanese people too, in general, because I like being in Japan. I've been here for a long time, and I want to be able to have more friends. I want to be able to make more friends and be able to have some kind of, relationship with Japanese people to kind of understand what's going on, in a daily lifetime, just being able to just hang out, have a conversation about anything. I just want to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you actually came to this Japan language factory early this year, right? So what was the huge differences compared to the other learning structure like a Rosetta Stone or college course? What was a huge difference?
So with language factory, I it felt a little bit more fun, so to speak. I can be able to ask questions and ask about different phrases, things that I would want to be able to say on a daily basis. Once I got my mindset kind of set to like, hey, I want to try to, say this in Japanese for going into, the convening. I want to be able to talk to them and get them to understand what I wanted to get, what I wanted to buy, or if I met somebody on the street and I wanted to be able to talk to them, I would make those things kind of a game for myself. So that's how I kind of got through it. At first, I know it was kind of rough for me because I was still feeling like I wasn't understanding enough to be able to speak to people or to say things back. But once I got moving, once I got it kind of going, where like, okay, if I can get this phrase, I can be able to I can kind of map out my conversation. I can kind of control the conversation that way. I can be able to kind of practice what I'm learning.
So the before you start master course and then now, do you see the difference? What is it
Yeah,
basically something is a change for you?
I actually before I was doing the language factor, I really didn't really want to go too many places. But after a while, I started wanting to kind of, venture out and go to different places and try different restaurants without, by myself, without anybody to help. Some people actually are surprised when I go to places and they're surprised I could be able to speak, Japanese to them. And some people actually, critique me on my Japanese and tell me that it's good. It's a proud feeling for me. I enjoy that. And, I did this for my daughter to kind of be able to speak to her more in Japanese. But I know right now it's kind of hard for her to do that because she wants to continue her English. But I was able to talk to her on her birthday and told her that I was happy that she was at my house and everything to hang out. I could say that in Japanese. I talked to her a little bit, get her the understanding I'm learning. I'm trying to learn Japanese conversation so we can have that talk if we need to. And she enjoys it. She likes the fact that I'm trying to study. I mean, she's studying too, and I'm studying.
So, like, what is actually the message to the people who now want to learn Japanese or who is already struggling? Like, what is actually the message to them?
I would say, pick something that you like. Pick a subject that you like to, that you would like to talk about, and focus on that one subject. You're not gonna always know everything that you need to say, but you can at least focus on how you want to be able to phrase your conversations. If you can, try your best to limit where you want to go with your conversations. That way you learn basic phrases, and the rest is history, I think. Just pick a subject, pick something that you like, though. Pick something that you would like to continuously talk about and focus on that.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the group sessions that we have. The group sessions, sometimes I'm confused and I'm not sure what people are saying. That's because, they're stronger in that subject than I am. So I try my best not to be discouraged. And when it's my time, I'll talk about my subject. Some people might get bits and pieces of what I'm saying in phrases, but as long as you don't give up, you'll figure it out.
Hey, what's up? So today I would love to share my student Michael, who has been living in Japan more than 15 years, having a Japanese wife and child, but he couldn't speak Japanese confidently. When he arrived in Japan, he took some classes using textbook and using some flashcard, very common startup, so he couldn't speak almost anything confidently. When I met him for the first time, I said to him, no worries. Japanese language is one of the most difficult language in the world, but it's not impossible language to learn it. Imagine Japanese babies, children, how they learn it. Just a few years, they can speak. So he just started master course and he learned how to speak properly, how to respond quickly, how to pronounce it, and improvement of his listening skill. So now he can go to bar, izakaya, and he can have the normal conversation with locals. And I said, congratulations. What was this tons of textbook study? Learning Japanese, it's easy. You can do this. If you want to be able to speak Japanese as soon as possible, we have a specific learning structure to start speaking Japanese naturally. You can focus on the natural conversational Japanese. Join our free consultation to learn what is the fastest way to start speaking Japanese.